we think about families gathering, time of year, sometimes, to get older, sometimes the noise gets to bothering us. At the same time, when we reflect on the fact of having kids around, having family together, being able to set aside the troubles of the day, it's nice to be able to think of those times when we're together. Sometimes folks start telling untruths. Things like, there is no Santa Claus, or things like that. Well, I'm here this morning to tell you a story about one little boy who believes. We'll call this story Adventure with Grandma. I remember my first Christmas adventure with Grandma. I was just a kid. I remember tearing across town on my bike to visit her on the day my big sister dropped the bomb. There is no Santa Claus, she jeered. Even dummies know that. My grandma was not the gushy kind. Never had been. I fled to her that day because I knew she would be straight with me. I knew Grandma always told the truth. I knew that the truth always went down a whole lot easier when swallowed with one of her world-famous cinnamon buns. I knew they were world-famous because Grandma said so. It had to be true. Grandma was home and the buns were still warm. Between bites, I told her everything. She was ready for me. No Santa Claus, she snorted. Ridiculous. I don't believe it. That rumor's been going around for years and it makes me mad. Plain mad. Now put your coat on, let's go. Go? Go where, Grandma? I asked. I hadn't even finished my second world-famous bun. Where turned out to be Curry's General Store. The one store in town that had just about everything. As we walked through the doors, Grandma handed me $10. That was a bundle of money in those days. Take this money, she said, and buy something for someone who needs it. I'll wait for you in the car. Then she turned and walked out of Kirby's store. I was only 8 years old, and I'd often gone shopping with my mom. But I'd never been shopping for anything all by myself. The store seemed big and crowded, full of people scrambling to finish their Christmas shopping. For a few moments, I just stood there, confused, clutching the $10 bill, wondering what to buy, and who on earth to buy it for. I thought of everybody I knew, my family, my friends, my neighbors, the kids at school, the people who went to my church. I was just about thought out when suddenly I thought of Bobby Decker. He was a kid with bad breath and messy hair. He sat right behind me in Mrs. Pollock's grade 2 class. Bobby Decker didn't have a coat. I knew that because he never went out at recess during the winter. His mother always wrote a note telling the teacher that he had a cough, but all the kids knew that Bobby Decker didn't have a coat. He didn't have no cough. Fingered the $10 bill with growing excitement, I would buy Bobby Decker a coat. I settled on a red corduroy one. It had a hood on it. Looked real warm. He'd like that. Is this a Christmas present for someone? The lady behind the counter kindly asked me as I laid my $10 bill down. Yes, I replied shyly. It's for Bobby. The nice lady smiled at me. I didn't get any change, but she put the coat in the bag and wished me a Merry Christmas. That evening, Grandma helped me wrap the coat in Christmas paper and ribbons. A little tag fell out of the coat, and Grandma tucked it in her Bible. On the package, she wrote, "To Bobby, from Santa Claus." Grandma said that Santa always insisted on secrecy. Then she drove me over to Bobby Decker's house, explaining as we went that I was now and forever officially one of Santa's helpers. Grandma parked down the street from Bobby's house, and she and I crept noiselessly and hid in the bushes in front of his walk. Then Grandma gave me a nudge. "All right, Santa Claus," she whispered, "get going." I took a deep breath and dashed for his front door. I threw the present on the porch, I pounded on the door, and I flew back to the safety of the bushes and Grandma. Together we waited breathlessly in the darkness for the front door to open. Finally it did. There stood Bobby. 50 years haven't dimmed the thrill of those moments spent shivering beside my grandma in Bobby Decker's bushes. That night, I realized that those awful rumors about Santa Claus were just what Grandma said they were, ridiculous. Santa was alive and well, and we were all on his team. I still have the Bible with the tag tucked inside, $19.95. He who has no Christmas in his heart will never find Christmas under a tree. Merry Christmas. The next time you wonder, remember, no Santa Claus? Ridiculous. Vicky thinks we should sing now. Oh, come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant, oh, come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord. I didn't know that.
Thank you, Bob.